Hey guys, it's Adam with Unleashed Wargaming. There's some new releases, some leaks apparently, which actually I'm beginning to think Games Workshop leaks this stuff on purpose to sell White Dwarf. But this should be from White Dwarf from this Saturday, so day after tomorrow. So it's barely leaked if it's really a leak. But a friend of mine sent me a message this morning telling me about some changes coming. And usually when they're detailed, I believe them. Sometimes you get on the forums and you find stuff that's so vague that, it could just be made up out of the top of their head. But, yeah, it looks like Warhammer Magic is about to change. I think what I'm seeing, everybody is a lore master, meaning they know all 8 spells, or, no, I'm sorry. They know all spells in their lore 7. So, I love it. I think that is great. I think it's very cool. It makes taking a level 2 caster somewhat viable again for more than carrying a dispel scroll. And that means, I'm guessing, that if you take 2 wizards of the same lore, they both have all of the spells. But if that's not the case, then hey, you take 2 wizards with 2 different lores and get, all the spells you want. And people are going to say this is overpowered, and now you can set up your spell combinations and all this kind of stuff. But really, it's very, very rare in a game of Warhammer you can't get the spells you want with a level 4 anyway. You roll 4 dice to choose your spells. Any doubles you get to pick. You can drop one for the the one that comes with it, the signature spell. So really, most of the time you get what you want anyway. This time you can actually plan your spells and plan your do some more strategy involving magic rather than just hoping you get what you want. I love it. I think it's going to be great for the game. As far as spells go, he sent me a list of spells, and he says this is from a picture of a page out of the White Dwarf. I haven't seen it, but I don't have any reason not to believe it. So it says that we're going to get 4d6 winds of magic. I don't know how I don't know how we're going to get the spell dice unless it's the top 2 now or something like that. But 4d6 winds of magic. Looking at 40k, they may leave it where you only get the top one, because 40k is really in favor of the guy casting, not the person dispelling. So they may be pushing that for fantasy as well. But yeah, 46 winds of magic. The lore of metal gets a 15 plus augment, 24-inch range. 1 unit gets a 2-up ward save until the next friendly magic phase. That's a pretty good spell right there. You set that up, and again, that's barring it being dispelled or whatever, failing to cast. 2-up ward save is pretty good for 1 turn lore of metal. The lore of the lore of fire has a 20 plus to cast. It's a hex. Hits all enemies on the table. Charge, pursuit, and flee are on 3d6. Discard the biggest. They get flammable, and all flaming attacks re-roll to wound against the target units. That one's pretty nasty. If they're flammable, that means anything that's flaming attacks will do double wounds, which really against single wound models is no benefit at all. But if you're fighting against like trolls, tree men, which I think are they're already flammable, any kind of ogres, anything with multiple wounds, that's going to be really, really big. The fleeing and all that stuff, whatever, that's not so bad. But anyway, moving on. The lore of light, 20 plus to cast, is an augment for order or a hex if you're destruction. All units within 12 inches of the caster are affected. Order get unbreakable. Destruction must take a leadership test on 4d6, lose 1 wound for every point you fail. A leadership test on 4d6. So it's kind of like the Spirit Leech things or something like that, or like the Casket of Souls. You roll a leadership check with 4 dice, and you lose 1 wound for every point you fail your leadership check by. I see that being, forces of order getting unbreakable. That's pretty big. I mean, again, you could go the realistic route and throw big blocks of troops out there that are actually going to fight. make them unbreakable to make sure that they're not going to lose their steadfast and run away. Things like that, of course. Or you could see the cheesy route going here, things like conga lines and that kind of stuff. Throw it out there. There's no way they can kill it all in one turn. And there's no way it's going to break now because you make it unbreakable. But either one of those, as long as it's not abused, I think it's going to be fun. Lore of Beasts, on a 15 plus, it has a vortex with a large blast temp now. It's an artillery dice times 3 for the distance, and every model passed by suffers a strength 3 hit. So potentially any kind of bus formation is really in trouble. Horde formation is still bad, but you look at these big buses that people take, and they're really in trouble now. And then you got the Lore of Life, a 15 plus vortex, all artillery dice times 3 for distance. Every unit passed by it gains 2d6 plus 1 wounds. That I love. I mean, that's just huge. You think about all these destruction spells, and my buddy was saying, so you're going to take somebody on a Pegasus, fly him right over in the middle of your enemy and do the big leadership bubble where it's 4d6 leadership for every unit within 12 inches. Yeah, you're going to kill a whole bunch of them. But then if they have the Lore of Life, move over to the side of the unit, cast a big vortex down your line, and raise every one of them back. It's huge. I mean, I love it. I don't have a problem with things like Dwellers Below and Pit of Shades. It sucks when they happen to you, but the thing is, you can do it too most of the time. Most armies can just throw it back out there. So I'm excited for the changes. I know a lot of people don't like it. There's a lot of people out there saying this is terrible in the end and I'm going to quit playing and all that, but I love it. I'm so glad to see big changes come into fantasy because in 20 years of this game, you see little changes here, little changes there, new character here, maybe remove a character from a book. I don't play with special characters anyway. I don't tell my opponents they can't bring them, but I don't use them. So I really don't care about that at all. And so the changes that I've been seeing in this game are really insignificant to me. I loved all the 8th edition changes like the random charge movements and horde formations and steadfast and step up. I loved every bit of it. The second I saw it, I thought it was just wonderful. But yeah, these are going to be cool too. It's going to make you rethink some of your strategies. If your strategy is to castle and have all your units right there close together, well, one of these little spells right here, I guess I shouldn't say little, one of these spells here could completely decimate your army. Your war machines will be all gone. Your gun lines will all be dead. Dwarves will have to really think twice before they just sit on their one side of the board in one corner and shoot at everything, because you're going to have a vortex roll over you, kill half your army, or you're going to be taking leadership checks on 4 dice with every unit in your army, and they're all going to start dying. That's going to be big. People are really going to have to start thinking now, thinking different. They'll get used to it, they'll get around it, and I'm sure people are going to find gimmicky, sneaky ways to use it that weren't intended for it. But that's going to happen. This is a good change. I'm enjoying it. I just thought I'd share it. And once the book comes out, if they don't release cards for it, I'll probably make some cards for it and offer them on here too. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you know anything that I didn't mention, or that maybe my friend didn't get out, feel free to throw it in the comments, and I'd love to hear it. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks.